welcome to the Crafty Tinkerer. I'm Nicole, and I am working on my Strange Brew sweater today. I have been only working on this sweater this week. My sister will be so proud of me. So I'm a monogamous knitter for now until I make a little bit more progress on the sweater. I never realized how much of an instant gratification type knitter I am until now, when I really shouldn't be working on anything else. I would like to. I am my own worst enemy. I keep going on Ravelry and searching patterns, and then I save them, and then I really would like to try them, but I know that I need to focus on this. So it's been a struggle. So this week is week 3 of Christmas in July, and it seems crazy talking about Christmas because it's been so hot out. Our air conditioning has been going practically nonstop, and I'm just really thankful that we do have air conditioning. I have been trying to keep everyone hydrated and, not going outside during those peak times of day when you're supposed to avoid it. We actually had excessive heat warnings in our area. So we've just been trying to stay inside and as cool as possible. When we go outside, I make sure everyone has water and a little bit of Pedialyte, actually, just to make sure that they're getting their electrolytes. So, Christmas in July. Back to the topic. This week I wanted to talk a little bit about decorations that aren't for the Christmas tree. Last year, I made a toilet paper roll cover, I should say, not a toilet cover. I just made a little Santa hat to put over the spare roll of toilet paper that we keep on the back of the toilet in our guest bathroom. And it came out really adorably. It's very simple. If you've made hats before, I just did some ribbing, and then I made like a newborn size hat out of worsted weight yarn and did a little tiny pom-pom at the top. It's not even really a pom-pom, I guess. I don't know. It's wispy. I'll put a picture up so that you can see what I'm talking about. I also found and saved a pattern last year for the 12 Days of Christmas mitten garland done by Kathy Lewinsky of Just Crafty Enough. I'll put a link to that website in the description down below. I like the pattern. I think, though, that instead of doing the 12 Days of Christmas, I will probably do an advent calendar. Advent calendars are really popular in the UK that have chocolate in them. My husband grew up getting those, and so we are lucky enough that his parents are able to pick them up from the store and send them over to us every year so that our kids have a chance to know the joy of opening the doors on the advent calendar and getting a chocolate every day. I was thinking, though, because postage is getting quite a bit more expensive, that it would be a little bit easier if we just got the little chocolates and then put them in the stockings or mittens ourselves. So I'm thinking, in my mind's eye, I'm picturing a garland with some mittens and some little stockings with charts, with a little charted pattern of some of our favorite parts of our favorite Christmas movies that we watch every year, instead of the pattern for the 12 Days of Christmas song, which we do like. The Muppet version is our favorite version, though, with John Denver. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking for that. An advent calendar that we can put little chocolates in for the kids, and every day they can go and pick one out. So advent calendars, they come like in a little box with plastic, and then each door has a saying on it, or it tells you to do something, and then there's a photo inside, and then each chocolate is shaped like one of the characters in the advent calendar. I'll put a picture up of one of the chocolates from last year, so that anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about can have a look. We really tried to meld both of our traditions together. I mean, most people do that. When they get married, you know, you each have different traditions and you make up your own traditions. But it's been a little more difficult for us. Luckily, his parents are still able to get some of the things and send it, but it is getting more expensive. Postage has really gone up in recent years. So we try to minimize what we're shipping as much as possible. The other sort of decoration thing that I did last year was I made a hat for our elf on the shelf. Now, I don't know how many of you know what an elf on the shelf is. I will put a picture up of our crew. So we have an elf on the shelf that we adopted in 2011 or 2012, I can't remember. And his name is Smiley. And Smiley comes here every day from the North Pole to keep an eye on things, to make sure things are going okay. And then he flies back to the North Pole at night to do his report. When he comes back, he likes to hide in a different spot every day. So our elf is not mischievous. He just plays hide and seek. And so every morning from the day after Thanksgiving until Christmas Eve, he goes back to the North Pole with Santa on Christmas Day. He's here. And we received special permission from the North Pole to be able to touch him, because you're not supposed to touch your elf. They're just supposed to silently stay watching. But our elf is a member of our family, and he participates in all of the activities that we do at Christmas time. So he comes with us to cut down our Christmas tree, and he comes on Christmas lights tours with us. He's been Christmas caroling. He's helped us bake cookies. He's made ornaments. You name it, he's done it. So he lost his hat last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago, while he was flying from our house to the North Pole. And he needed a new hat. His head was getting a little bit cold. So I knit him a new hat. And then we found out that someone that my mother works with, their elf also lost their hat while they were flying to the North Pole. So I made a second elf hat. And I just used fingering weight yarn for those, and I measured our elf's head, and I was able to just whip up a hat in probably an hour, I think it was. It didn't really take that long. There is a pattern available for a scarf on Ravelry for the elf. We opted not to make a scarf for our elf because he already has a Christmas sweater that we picked up one day at Target, because they have a whole elf line of clothes and accessories. So in addition to our elf, we have a mensch on a bench, and he tells the story of Hanukkah. We have a whole book about that. And then we also have a reindeer, which is part of the elf pets, part of their accessories. Snowflake. Oh, our mensch's name is Nosh, and he likes to eat, like us. And then our reindeer's name is Snowflake, and Snowflake you are supposed to touch. Snowflake has a necklace around their neck that you're supposed to rub to put love into it, to give the magic to go back and forth to the North Pole. So there's that. And then we also picked up another elf who is a very big New York Yankee fan. And so that is our collection of dolls for Christmas. And this year I think I'm going to make them all some accessories. They kind of count as decorations because when they come back from the North Pole and hide, usually they hide in a space like on the bookshelf or in the edge of a drawer or in the Christmas tree. Sometimes they like to hang out in that Christmas tree. They go in our stockings, all over the place. Pretty much any place that you can think of, they hide. So I count them as a decoration during the day while they're here. I don't know if any of you have elves or menches, or I know that the makers of the mensch on the bench have also expanded their line. They have a booby now, and they brought out something else too. I can't remember what it is, but they started out on Shark Tank a few years ago. And we actually have the first version of the mensch that was out before they became bigger. So we love our mensch, we love our elves, and we love our reindeer. And they're part of our family. So we'll have to give them some accessories. And then the other thing that I was thinking of doing as a decoration, not for the tree, although they could be ornaments for the tree, I guess you could make them into an ornament, are the birds, the knitted birds. I would like to do a cardinal and an English robin to put on our wreath that goes on our front door. So we'll see. The birds really don't take me that long anymore. I was knitting a bird a day at one point. So I think that as long as I finish my sweater by October, I should have plenty of time to do some Christmas knitting before we decorate for Christmas. Now, I know tickets went on sale yesterday for Indie Untangled, speaking of October, and sold out fairly quickly, I've been reading. I have volunteered to help set up, so I didn't try to get tickets. And I know that they're also having an event afterward at the Dutch Ale House, which is where the Perfect Blend Yarn and Tea Shop usually has their Pints and Pearls event once a month. So they have really good food and drinks there. Anyone who got tickets for either event, I hope you enjoy it. I'm really excited. Last year when I went to Rhinebeck, I was like caught in the headlights, and I went on Sunday. I didn't even go on Saturday, but it was just so much to take in. This year, I think I have a better idea of what I'd like to do. I'm not really going to be rushing around, trying to go to this booth or that booth. Last year, we just walked around casually, but I missed a lot because if a booth was crowded, I skipped right by it. I didn't even look into it, I didn't want to have to go in. And it was still pretty crowded on Sunday. I'm really just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to maybe meeting some of you and meeting some other people that I've connected with on Instagram this year. So yeah, it's really exciting. And I'm also hoping to go to Needles Up, which is another trunk show that is in Kingston. It's a little bit smaller, and I only just learned about it recently. I'm trying to think. Actually, you know what? I did watch Earth Tones Girl's podcast. She went last year to Needles Up. So I guess that's not only just, but I didn't watch it last year during Rhinebeck. As a matter of fact, I don't even think I started watching knitting podcasts until after Christmas. Whenever I discovered Arne and Carlos's knitting podcast, that's when I really discovered the world of knitting podcasts. And it's been great. I love watching everybody. I like to see everyone's different perspectives. That's part of why I started my own, because sometimes it's intimidating when, you see some folks who are doing like these amazing projects and you think, oh my God, I could never make that. And then you just start and you do. With this podcast, I really wanted to inspire some new knitters that, yes, you can do it. You just have to take the first step. That's mainly what holds us back, right? Is that we're worried that we're not going to be able to, so we don't. And it's ironic because if you never try, then you never do. So with knitting and with me making this YouTube channel, that's my goal, is to inspire other people to just take that step forward. If I can do it, you can do it. So you just have to want to do it. That was a very long off-topic talk. Sorry about that. So anyway, if you got tickets to Indie Untangled, congratulations. If anyone knows how I can get general admission tickets to Needles Up, I have tried going on the website, but all I could find was the information to get VIP tickets that are now sold out. So that is all I have for this week. If you have any decorations for holidays that you really like, tried and true patterns, and you could point me in their direction, I would appreciate it. I thank you for sticking with me for this long. And I will see you next week. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are interested in seeing future videos, please click down here on my icon to subscribe, and don't forget to click the bell for notifications. And I hope you have a great week. Bye.